Hello and welcome back to our channel. As a reminder, we are AAA, Amy, Arnold, and Anna.
In this one, we're going to talk about the top nonprofits that you should be aware of in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, or DMV for short. We're going to talk about what they do, why they do what they do, and perhaps how you can help in their mission.
These are 6 that we chose based on our research and knowledge of those out in the area. So definitely not all of the great organizations that you should know, but just a couple of our favorites. So the first I have is the Asian American Federal Employees for Non-Discrimination. This is an advocacy group that seeks fair and equal treatment and inclusive representation of Asian Americans in the federal government. This one, I think hits pretty close to home for a lot of us. If you are in this area, you are probably either working for a federal agency or a contractor for a federal agency. So definitely feel this one. The discrimination that the organization really focuses on is around the suspicion of the national security risk when you go through the security clearance process as a federal employee or a federal contractor, especially with those that have like a need or higher security clearance for all those like Department of Defense and stuff. There is tension there due to suspicion as a national security risk due to our ethnic or national origin background during US or Asia tensions. And so they're looking to provide recommendations on security clearance reform, data transparency, independent and timely appeals processes related to those security clearance processes, diversity, hiring, promotion, and retention, and diversity, equity, inclusion practices. So check them out online and you will hear some very interesting testimonies on their website.
Alright, so the next nonprofit we're going to talk about is AA Success. This is an organization that's near and dear to many members of Ascend. AA Success guides young students towards community leadership by empowering them with interpersonal and communication skills. They also encourage them to seek development in the areas of personal development and professional training. Their mission is to empower children and young adults to their full potential and be community leaders in the future, in addition to spreading humanitarian and ethical values within their community. AA Success offers young students mentorship opportunities year-round, while providing resources and guidance to turn their ideas into reality. They create a safe environment where students can challenge themselves without the fear of failure. A key tenet of AA Success is also to nurture the value of giving back to the community, passing their resources and knowledge to community members as they journey through life. Over the last 13 years, they have annually averaged over 2,100 hours of annual one-on-one mentorship, 1,934 hours of civic projects, and awarded $75,600 of scholarship. In total, they have impacted over 250 Asian Americans in the community. You might ask, how do you help? Well, you can volunteer yourself as a mentor or just a general volunteer for their events. There's an application process and a slight background check to make sure you're the right person, and then you're on your way to helping these children and students be their full selves.
So my second nonprofit that you should know about in the DMV area is Asha for Women. Asha for Women provides support to South Asian women living in abusive marriages and homes. It was created in 1989 by South Asians to circumvent many of the language, cultural, and social norm barriers that stop many from seeking help. Asha has helped hundreds of women and children move on to lead safer and happier lives. Asha serves children in the DMV area with origins from South Asian countries like Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and they come from a lot of different religions and faiths as well. Asha offers guidance for navigating the government and community services and resources available to victims of domestic violence, and each client is paired with an advocate to help them through the process and to provide that financial, legal, and mental health needs for those abuse victims. Asha is managed entirely by volunteers and wholly aided by grants and donations, and they are one of the best small charities in the Washington, D.C. area. Thank you, Asha, for all your dedication and hard work to the South Asian women and children community.
Located in the Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C. area, Federal Asian Pacific American Council, or FAPAC, is a nonprofit nonpartisan organization representing civilian and military Asian Pacific American employees in the federal and DC governments. Founded in 1985, FAPAC is the oldest and largest AAPI affinity group for federally employed Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. FAPAC leadership training are designed for all grades from JS5 to SES. Their mission is to promote equal opportunity and cultural diversity for APAs within the federal and District of Columbia governments. FAPAC encourages the participation and advancement of APAs in the government workforce.
So third on my list is the National Asian Pacific American Women's Forum, specifically the DC chapter. This is an organization focused on building power with API women and girls to influence critical decisions that affect our lives, our families, and our communities. The organization was founded in 1996 to realize the vision of 100 API women who recognized the need for an organization that would amplify API women's stories and experiences. Being seen and heard in the public narrative gives us the power to shape policy and cultural change needed to gain agency over our lives and communities. Their work is focused at the intersection of three areas: reproductive health and rights, economic justice, and immigration and racial justice. Chapters are located in 14 cities across the US, and I have had the pleasure to work with one of the DC area chapter leads. Her name is Luna, through this year and last year during the DMV API Heritage Month planning events. And I think that she is just an icon, and when she speaks at meetings, you can just feel her presence and her authenticity, and it's been great to work with her. So thank you, Nepal, for all the work that you do on behalf of API women.
AAJC, short for Asian American Advancing Justice, is headquartered in Washington, D.C. Their mission is to advance civil and human rights for Asian Americans and to build and promote a fair and equitable society for all. AAJC has fought for Asian Americans in the national conversations that determine policies, helping us shape our lives since 1991. Their current programs cover from voting rights, immigrant and immigration rights, to racial profiling and raising awareness about the increasing racism and discrimination towards the Asian American community.
So the nonprofit I'm going to talk about is AA Lead, Asian American Youth Leadership Empowerment and Development. AA Lead supports low-income and underserved Asian American youths with leadership empowerment, identity development, and leadership. It was started by Sandy Dang, initially to serve the Vietnamese immigrant population in the district. She had a vision to grow a community organization that belonged to the community itself. And the rest is history. Today they have programs such as after-school programs and mentorship programs to help youths realize their full potential. If you want to help, you can either donate or volunteer yourself as a mentor for AA Lead.
So this next one, I cheated a little. Act to Change is my fourth nonprofit you should know in the DMV area, but they are actually a national nonprofit. But I've had the pleasure to work with two of their board members, Jill and Jamie, who do reside in the DC area and who I kind of want to be when I grow up. And Act to Change also does participate in our DMV API Heritage Month, so I feel like they should get an in. Act to Change is a nonprofit organization working to address bullying, including that in the API community. Kids and teens are bullied in schools all across the country, and unfortunately many API youths are bullied because of our unique cultural, religious, and language challenges and barriers, which can also stop a lot of kids and teens from getting the help that they may need. Act to Change's campaign aims to empower you, us, students, families, and educators with the knowledge and tools needed to help stop and prevent bullying in our communities.
Well, that's it, everybody. Those are our top nonprofits in the DMV area. Did we miss any? Feel free to write them down in the comment section below and like and subscribe if you want to see future content. See you in the next video.